Hello all, it's been a while. Let's get through this quickly. Hello all, welcome back to Reminiscent Industries, where we do some crazy music. I have some things to talk about tonight, and I thought I'd start off with saying I'm okay. If you've been following me on channels like Avalavio and Winter Does Stuff, you'd know that I've been fairly absent from both of those channels. I'm trying to get back into actual content creation. I had a very rough mental slump after I got done being completely and utterly fucking sick. So I wanted to start off by making this little video to explain what's happening over on the Reminiscent Industry side of things, particularly as it pertains to original music, because there's some stuff that I gotta talk to you guys about. I had mentioned it in a previous community post, but I did want to acknowledge something here. Players and Pieces, the original Nerdcore album that I am doing, that is along with my friend Unknown and Brandon, some instrumentals. I'm doing one of the instrumentals, you know, all of that happy jazz, the beginning of the game trilogy that is designed to be taken place over the course of the next several years over here on Reminiscent Industries and the Shining Angels. It's not coming out this year. We had intended for a Christmas release date, and that just wasn't in the cards. We still have quite a bit of work left to do on the album. We do hope to get, as I'm recording this, it is August 15th. We do plan to get at least one more track done this month, potentially even two if I can actually muster up the courage to talk to people, because again, I've been sick. I was in a mental rut. I haven't really talked to people that often this month. But after those 3 tracks are done, we still have 3 more left to do, at least instrumentally. And then we want to get, you know, as much done as we can vocally and in terms of the production, mixing and mastering and all that, and then lyric videos. We know that it is not going to come out by Christmas. It is going to come out sometime 2027, and I have told people in the server, and I said over on that community tab, we don't have a set release date. We have a goal that we want to hit, but if we hit earlier than that, we'll release it. If we hit later than that, we'll release it. This is definitely a case of where I want to get this done as much as possible. I want it to be as quality as possible, but the second that it is done, I'm gonna let you guys know so that there can be like a big premiere video for it and everything, because I just want to get it done. This thing has taken up like, it's gonna be coming on like 2.5 years. It's been a bit of a wild process with that. And as for things like Reminiscent Desolation, the sequels to the game trilogy, those being Beyond the Screen and Play Their Game, and along with that Ending the Memory, there's no real plans for those. At least in terms of the production side right now, we are focused on Players and Pieces right now, and that's pretty much it. Unknown, from what I understand, is going to be taking a break after Players and Pieces and Cerebrus Incoming, which allows me to focus on something else. While Unknown is going to be taking his break along the release dates after, you know, Players and Pieces and Cerebrus Incoming, both of which I believe are coming out next year, I thought I'd do something on my own. So, a surprise single came out earlier last month entitled Drown. While it is not my first original track on the channel that was completely done by me, it is the first with a more complex instrumental. Something like I Can't Remember was fully a cappella with a small layer of like vocoder under it. This is a full instrumental production by me, and it's the first one that you guys are seeing on the channel. There is gonna be one on the Players and Pieces album, by the way, so watch out for that when it comes out. But Drown was my first real foray into actually getting in a groove and a rhythm with instrumental creation. And that got me thinking a little bit in my little brain noodle up here. In between Players and Pieces and Reminiscent Desolation, which is the one that we want to do next, by the way. After Players and Pieces, when Unknown comes back, I do want to get to Reminiscent Desolation because that album has been sitting around for fucking ever, and there's a feature on there who has also been waiting on my ass for it. But while we are waiting in the interim for that, for Unknown to, you know, take a breather, he deserves to have a break after putting up with my bullshit and his bullshit with his album that he's doing, I thought I'd take a little bit of time to do something on my own. And that has resulted in The Experiment. A 12-track record that is, it's got a bit of an interesting structure here, so stay with me while I talk through this. Drown was written over the course of, from start to finish, from beginning of production, like writing lyrics and all that, to end of production, that being the lyric video. It was about a 6-week process as opposed to something like Players and Pieces, the title track of the Players and Pieces album, whereas that took around 4 months, something along those lines. It took a while for that one to be done, and I firmly believe, I think I cut my timeline in half. And it was a really interesting process because Drown was written in kind of like a really good flow state for me. And it was really a chance for me to put my muscles together and everything. And I decided if I was going to make like a single like this, I did want to have it included on a project. I just didn't know what at the time. But then I realized, like, going back to it, if I was going to have this on a project, I would need to go back to it eventually. I accidentally deleted the file, but then that got me thinking, what if that was the point? What if I made an album of 12 singles entirely disconnected from each other, written at a specific pinpoint in, my life as I exist right now, doing the entire track from start to finish without going to another one, finishing the track, putting it out into the world, and then deleting the project file so that I can never touch it again, so that I have to be satisfied with the result. I think that's a pretty fucking cool idea for an album, man. So, on Genius Lyrics right now are the titles of the 12 tracks that I will be doing. I will be working, as I said, on one of them at a time. There's no particular order that I'm going to be doing these in, it's just whatever kind of fits my fancy at the time that I'm writing things, and at the time that I finish writing one of the others. Right now I am working on Brass Tacks, which is a song that is very pointed lyrically. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. But that song is, I intend for it to come out either late Q4 of this year or early Q1 of next, maybe even January 1st of next year. I feel like that might be like the January single that you guys get every year from me. I normally do a song on January 1st of every year, and I think it would be a cool idea to open the year with the next single from this project. As for as if there's a concept to this album, not really, not as I'm going about it right now. The intent for me is to write these songs in a vacuum as, I'm experiencing emotions at that point in time as I'm existing in the world. It's definitely a case where I don't have an idea for it yet in terms of what the broader narrative could be, but I'm closing in on kind of a scrapbook idea, if that makes sense. I'll elaborate more on it when the album is more technically produced and in production, because it's not really an album that's in production, it's a series of 12 singles that are going to be put at random times. And that's the other thing about this album. It is truly going to be random with its release dates. I could have one song done in another month or so. I could have another song done in 6. It is definitely a case where I am putting a lot of creative energy, I'm putting a lot of creative spontaneity into this album, which is something that I've addressed before. I am someone who I have a massive backlog of original songs that I have written lyrically and that I've had ideas for melodies or riffs in my head for upwards of over a decade for a lot of this stuff, and a good majority of it is like half a decade old, 5+ years. And I thought to myself, I wanted to write an album truly spontaneously, and now with my skills of actually doing instrumental stuff, I think I can do it. I think I can do this. I want this to be the second album for TSA, for The Shining Angels, but I want this to be one that's solely on my own. And I think that going about it this way, especially knowing what comes next for TSA, is going to be really, really interesting. I think it's going to be really cool, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And honestly, that's kind of it for this video. I didn't have a lot planned to talk about. This one is going to be, I think, like sub 10 minutes. Which is the first time I've done that with a video in fucking forever. So, if you like what you saw here, if you enjoyed the announcements that I had to bring up, leave likes, leave comments, all that happy jazz. I've been Winter. This has been just a talk on here on Reminiscent Industries. That's about it from me, everybody. Peace. In due time.